Hey you guys, what's going on? This is Mark and Jules, and we are back once again to bring you guys our
Yu-Gi-Oh content.
Yeah, some more Yu-Gi-Oh content. I realize this review is a little early if we take into account the point that my review series is at, but I thought that I would do a
You had a thought? That's a first.
I thought that Jules and I would do a vlog type review of the Pyramid of Light movie before I did an actual in-depth analysis on the thing later on. So let's just get this thing started. So if I remember correctly, the film was released in the U.S. in 2004, I believe.
Yeah.
And canonically, well, if we take it as canon, it's supposed to take place after Battle City, but before Waking the Dragons. In the anime at least. And it basically, I know because I remember growing up watching the movie on a VHS tape that I had, and I remember looking up reviews for it. The critics panned it. They absolutely hated it. It got really low. It got really low ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that. But honestly, is it as bad as people say? Well, that's kind of to be debated. I mean, you'll have to wait for my in-depth analysis on the movie before you have my final answer on it. Mostly because, well, it's been a while since I've actually seen the movie. So, but I thought that I would launch this video out as a little promo, because as you guys know, The Dark Side of Inventions is currently in theaters. Although unfortunately, it is a limited release, and the closest theater can't speak tonight. And the closest theater to us is an hour and a half away. And by closest theater, I mean the closest theater where the film is playing. I mean, there are theaters around us by our old high school and stuff like that, but none of them were playing in the movie, which makes no sense. I mean, I want this film in all theaters. I don't want it to be a limited release. So, Jules.
What?
So, you wanna start this analysis off by giving your thoughts on the film?
It's about a pyramid that's made of light. Egypt. Kyra being a douche. Yugi. The rest. Card game. Winning. God cards. End of movie. Credits roll. It's over.
We got one thing, Jules.
What?
9,000. Rah. But yeah, insert a Dragon Ball plug-in joke here. But like I said, canonically, it's meant to. If we take it as canon, because it's considered non-canon by a lot of people simply because of the events in it that happened. But essentially, the movie's plot revolves around one of the pharaoh's ancient enemies named Anubis, which is actually, if I remember correctly, Anubis was actually a god that was worshipped by the Egyptians.
Yeah.
I think. So kudos there. But Anubis is basically someone from Yami's past, who we unfortunately never see again after this point.
Yeah.
After this point.
Or ever hear of again.
Or ever hear of again, for that matter.
And they never mention him ever again after that.
But so Anubis is basically trying to finish something that I started in the past. I think he said that in the dub, I think he says something along the lines of I will finish what I started millennia ago. So it clearly takes so if we're saying that he's from Yami's past, then Yami must have faced him at least before the Millennium World stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like before Thief King Bakura and stuff came and all that stuff. But
I finished.
The interesting thing though is that because the funny thing is, I was actually looking this movie up on Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, and there were a lot of dub mistakes and stuff like that. And looking back at the film, it's actually really funny when you notice all the dub mistakes that were made. Although at the same time, the soundtrack rocks. The soundtrack freaking rocks.
Especially Kaiba's theme.
Yeah, pretty awesome. But I wonder. Wait, has no creator made an abridged movie of that yet? Because I know that they did the Bonds Beyond Time abridged.
Yeah. Well, you have to look that up.
Yeah. And I will look it up as soon as we are done recording this.
Sure.
But the thing is, like, okay, so essentially, like, a lot of people were saying that this film was stupid, and that's just it's just a marketing point. And well, at the same time, that's your goal with any animated show, is to be a marketing device.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dragon Ball, Pokemon, especially Pokemon,
Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, Sonic.
Sonic's not an anime.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, there has been a lot of merchandise put out.
Yeah. And another certain character that we're not gonna mention because it's a certain company.
We are going to get sued by them if we even mention his name.
Or
Greedy bastards.
Or their name.
Greedy bastards.
Anyway.
Although I will tell you this, they are Japanese. That is all I will tell you, is that they are Japanese. I probably gave it away because you guys are too smart, but let's just...
They are human.
And they are human, yes. But anyway, back to the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So
Teia's in it.
Yeah, Teia's definitely in it, and so is Joey.
Kristen,
all the
one who's never played once a game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
All the primary characters that you know from the series are here,
except for Duke for some reason.
And I think Bakura was also absent.
Yeah, Bakura wasn't there either.
I think.
Or Merrick.
Well, I mean, it makes sense why Merrick wouldn't be there.
Or Bandit Keith, or Weevil, Rex Raptor.
The only other character that we get to see is Pegasus, and that's in a
duel against Kaiba, because Kaiba found out that Pegasus had a card that he kept to defeat the Egyptian god cards.
The thing I find most fascinating though is because throughout that entire duel, I kind of like how when Kaiba and Pegasus duel again, it's kind of like a throwback to Duelist Kingdom with the field and stuff. Although I feel like they're still adhering to Battle City's dueling limits. But the thing I find interesting though is the fact that the dub is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, despite what many people say about it, the dub of that movie is actually pretty solid material. I mean, the voice acting is on point. The voice acting's on point. Although the dub mistakes, which I can't possibly list all of them off, because there were far too many. And I will do that in my in-depth analysis when I finally get there. But although I'm actually really close to doing that. But I mean, the voice acting is on point. Again, I don't know if the animation is for kids' thing or if it's is it Konami that animates the show, or is it Toei?
I think it's Konami.
Wait, no, Konami is the one that does the trading card game.
Oh yeah, so it's Toei.
So it must be Toei then. 4Kids are just the guys that dub it, but and edit it and stuff. But the thing that's fascinating though is that even though it's a 4Kids dub, and a lot of people have been saying that the 4Kids dub of the show was very bad because of all the censorship and stuff, there's a lot of dark imagery in that movie. There is a ton of dark imagery in that movie, and if you consider, I mean, well, there's no blood, of course, but if you consider the fact that, okay, when this film came out, Yu-Gi-Oh! Had just, well, actually, no, this was just, it came out, in the US, it came out just before the final Battle City episodes aired, and it somewhat spoiled the ending of that arc within the first few minutes of the movie. With where it shows Yugi winning the Battle City tournament and stuff like that, and getting the Winged Dragon of Ra. But the thing that fascinates me though is the fact that, well, I mean, at the time of its release, you had little kids who were maybe like, what, 9, 10 years old going to see this thing?
Yeah.
And I don't exactly know what the rating for the film was, but I'd imagine that the kids were shocked by what they saw, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Kids, theater, watching movie, reaction, disappointed parents, refunds being demanded, people leaving, fade into memory.
That's all you got?
Stickman.
But, I mean, because the thing is, people have been saying, like I said before, people have been saying that the 4Kids dub of the series is really bad. The problem is there is no, as far as I know, there is no other English dub of the series out there.
Yeah, that's basically the only dubbing of Yu-Gi-Oh! that we have.
That we know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you count other language dubs, but even that, even then, like, you know.
Still.
But yeah, overall, but basically the plot revolves around Anubis trying to get revenge on the Pharaoh, and he sets up this duel between Yugi and Kaiba to quote unquote finally settle their differences once and for all. And the thing that interests me though is during that entire duel, Kaiba is actually winning.
Yeah.
He's actually winning. And come to think of it, he didn't even need the Pyramid of Light.
Yeah.
Although granted, he still wouldn't have been able to stop the God cards.
Yeah.
But like, people have been saying that the Pyramid of Light is an actual card in the series, and I've actually seen it on forums and stuff. But I can never really figure out what that card's actual effect is, if it's even real. Because for all I know, it could be forged.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that really made me interested in the film though was the fact that, well, it was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
And it was 4Kids.
Yeah.
And well, I was
a kid.
I was like 8 or 9 at that time.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking back on it over a decade later, it holds up. It really holds up. The animation is incredible. Again, the voice acting is glorious. It's amazing. Although Yami Yugi could use a little less screaming, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the thing though, the only time that he speaks softly is when in the film is when Yugi is having that inner monologue with Yami, and they're talking about the situation while he's riding up in the elevator, and and so Yami's voice, in case any of you guys don't know, although if you're watching this video, how could you not know? In Duelist Kingdom in the series, his voice was more like this. It looks like my monster just got a field power bonus, just like your bugs do from the forest. Like that. Whereas in Battle City, it's like this. Forget your rules! Like that. Like that. It sounds like... It
sounds like the mic was far away from him and he had to scream all of his lines.
And that's possible, although it could also have to do with, it could have also been Green just developing his voice for the role.
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
But at the same time, I kind of prefer the Duelist Kingdom Yami voice over the Battle City Yami voice.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get mad at me. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. You never see any of Mako Tsunami anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing though. We don't really see any other prominent characters because ever since Duel Monsters ended, it's been mostly about Yugi and Kaiba.
Yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! Media lately because in the teaser trailers for Dark Side Dimensions, which by the way we still cannot see, but in the teaser trailers, it shows Yugi and Kaiba dueling, and that's what honestly got most people pumped about it, was the fact that, hey, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi and Kaiba, let's go see it!
Yeah, but you don't see like any other characters like Mai or...
Oh my!
or Weevil or Rex or...
Any of those
Esperoba for one.
Any of those supporting characters.
Yeah, or Mako Tsunami or anyone else that people got to know and love. We don't even get to... We hardly get to see Tristan in them, or Cora, or anyone else. Hell, we don't even get to see Serenity. And when she came along towards Battle City after Joey won money for her operation. Where was she?
But speaking of Battle City, I've gotten to that point now where I've finally arrived at the quarterfinals. Because, in case you guys don't know, I just got done writing the script for the conclusion of the virtual world arc, and I decided to skip ahead a little bit before I recorded the audio for that final video. In an attempt to make the review series go faster in terms of production.
Yeah.
But because of the semester starting up and everything, I'm not really sure when I'll be able to get that audio recorded. Or anything like that, because the script is pretty long. It's at least 10 pages. Worth of notes. But when will the next Yu-Gi-Oh! The review series video be out? Well, just be patient. Because these things don't happen overnight. It takes time for me to watch the entire arc. And sometimes I have to watch it over again in case I miss something. Because I wanna give you guys the best opinion that I can. And if I miss something, I feel like I kind of let you guys down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I appreciate you guys who want to give me spoilers and whatnot for the movie on Twitter and stuff. But please don't. Please don't. I want to go into the... Or if you do, I'll just ignore it. Because I want to go into this film with as open a mind as I can. And I'm pretty sure this guy does too.
Yeah.
But, so, ultimately, Pyramid of Light is a very divisive film amongst the fan base. Because... Oh, speaking of, you want to talk about the Blue-Eyed Shining Dragon?
How come he's never used that before?
Because the thing is, there was actually a review that Juels and I saw of it by Il Nej.
Nej. I'm gonna put that in the book of names that sound funny to me.
And he lists a few of the plot points off that make no sense. Like for example, if Pegasus created a card that could destroy that could nullify the god cards, then why would it be a card that only Kaiba could use?
I mean, yeah, shouldn't that be a card that only Pegasus could use? In case Yugi ever dueled him again, you wanted to guard cards against him? When he make it specifically to only work for Pegasus, the guy who created the game, and not anyone else, but
Just Pegasus.
yeah, but why Kaiba? I know he's Ryugi's rival, but why make it for only Kaiba to use? That's kind of stupid. And since when could Kaiba use his Blue Eye Shining Dragon, and how come he's never used it before, or ever used it again? I mean, that's kind of a waste of a potentially good monster. That could have probably bailed him out of plenty of duels, like maybe the one against Noah.
Well, technically, the thing is, because like I said, you mentioned Noah, but if we take this as canon, Noah would have already happened by that point.
Yeah. Or use it against Yugi any other time.
Or heck, even against darts. I mean, Great Leviathan, Blue Eye Shining Dragon, boom!
Yeah, or against the Big Five.
Well, that's if they ever see them again. But
I mean before. Like,
yeah.
The first time they got sucked into a virtual reality, and second time during Noah's Ark.
Right.
Yeah, but we only see it one time, and it's only in this one movie, and we never see it again. They kind of Exodia did. they Exodia'd him.
They basically made a Blue Eyes White Dragon version of Exodia.
Yeah, they Exodia'd him. Used only one time and never used again. And this time Weevil wasn't there to ruin it.
Although at the same time, I think they kind of brought the Blue Eye Shining Dragon back in 5Ds.
Well, yeah, that's the only. But we never see it again in Duel Monsters.
Well,
how come they never bring Exodia back into the other season?
Probably because it's an OP card combination.
I know.
But it's literally an instant win unless the opponent plays card destruction right when you get the 5 pieces, and just before the.
I know.
I heard about this one guy who was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and he had all 5 pieces of Exodia in his hand, and actually no, he had 4 of the 5 pieces. And he was about to draw the final piece, and then the AI played card destruction, and it completely ruined his strategy.
I know, that would have been cool to see though.
I know, that would have been awesome. But although granted, if Exodia had been summoned, well, you know, Kaiba would have lost immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pyramid of Light. It's an okay film. I mean, it still holds up really well. I mean, the animation still holds up amazingly well. The voice acting holds it up. The dubbing prowess holds it up. Even though people say that 4Kids sucked when it comes to dubbing, I really disagree with that. I think they brought their A game.
Yeah.
And they would continue to bring their A game throughout the entirety of the rest of the series. And eventually into the rest of the franchise, at least until we get to Zexal and RV. That's practically the Dragon Ball GT for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
The only difference is it's considered canon by the fan base.
Why? Just why?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
I mean, come on, Zexal rips off Dragon Ball Z with their fake imitation Super Saiyan. He even goes through 3 transformations.
Yeah, might as well call it Super Yuma.
Yeah, I mean, he also even goes through 3 stages of it. I know, I looked it up. It's basically ripping off Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. But it's probably just rip off Super Saiyan 4. Maybe Super Saiyan God. Maybe Super Saiyan Blue.
Maybe they'll do that in RV when the dub comes out.
Probably.
But, although, one thing that I heard that RV has going for it, though, was the fact that characters from 5Ds are supposed to be in it.
Really?
Are supposed to be in it. I heard that, I think Jack and Krell are both supposed to be in it.
What about you say?
I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look it up again, to see. But if that's any indication, and people have been saying that after Dark Side of Dimensions premiered, people were saying that there would be an entirely new Duel Monsters successor series solely based around the original cast, and Honestly, I'd really like to see that.
Me too.
Because I mean, like we've had
That's really a really good concept.
Because like we've had, although what would they do with it though?
I don't know.
Because considering the fact that Yami's
Gone.
But although they could kind of do maybe they do a spin-off series where, let's say, Yugi and Taya get together and it's a story about one of Yugi's children, and he tells them stories from throughout the franchise about that he's watched of like let's just say he takes them through Duel Monsters first, and then he explains the events of GX to them. Somewhat. But that would be a really interesting little thing that they could do. And that would actually be legitimate passing of the torch, if you think about it. But yeah, guys. All in all, Pyramid of Light, solid film. Doesn't hold up quite as well as Bonds Beyond Time, mostly because Bonds Beyond Time has more continuity nods to it. But as the first and so far only official Duel Monsters movie that's out on DVD right now, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. What would you give Pyramid of Light out of 5 stars?
I give it maybe 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Why?
I mean, it had great artwork, some good music, and it could have had a better plot. But all in all, it kind of has some dubbing errors, a lot of plot holes, and kind of some of it didn't make any sense. And there were some problems they could have easily avoided. They put some common thought and maybe some logic throw some logic in there. Like, how long did it take for Anubis to come up with this plan to get back at the Pharaoh? If it says...
Considering the fact that, he's been dead!
I know, and also, he was released the same time Yugi finished the puzzle. Why did it take him so long to try to get his revenge? Why wouldn't he do it right off the bat? Right when he got released?
Well, my theory behind that would probably be because because if you think about it, Anubis was basically a spirit entity.
So was Atem.
Entity, but at the same time, Atem had a body to inhabit. Anubis didn't.
Didn't take Kaipa's.
But yeah, that's true. But that's actually a good question. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, just hypnotize some loser who works at the museum, controls them to give Kaiba the Pyramid of Light. He could have inhabited Kaiba's body.
That would have been a really that actually would have made for a better plot, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, that way.
Like you could have let's say Yugi and Kaiba start dueling, and then once
once Yugi transforms,
that's when Kaiba does it.
Yeah, and it reveals that it's me. I possess this fool's body. Ha! The only way to free him from me is to defeat me in the card game,
or something like that. And then imagine if okay, can you imagine how much better it would be if taking that plot that you just described, because in the dub, once Anubis appears, he makes the game a shadow game. A shadow duel.
Who doesn't?
A shadow duel. And
the big question is, who doesn't make it a shadow duel? Basically, everybody does it.
Yeah, practically everybody does it. But
seriously, does no one duel for fun anymore?
Well,
besides Yugi and them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, seriously, does any of their opponents not duel for fun anymore? Why is people's lives always got to be at stake in these things?
I don't know, but anyway, so taking into account that plot that you just described, can you imagine how much better it would be if, let's say that they transform at the same time, or wait, no, how about this? Yugi goes Yami Yugi, and Yami gets an advantage once he pushes Kaiba enough. That's when Anubis takes control.
Yeah.
That's when Anubis takes over, and Anubis reveals himself as this big baddie who Yami has never even heard of. because
or to remember.
Because he can't remember anything at that point. So
yeah, instead he just appears
and then
during their duel and just throws Kaiba to the side.
And then, well, let's just say that, well, when Anubis makes it a shadow game, that's when reinforcements come in the form of Joey and potentially even Merrick.
Yeah.
Because remember, this was just after Battle City.
Yeah, if they included Merrick.
Actually no, this was before the end of Battle City. So I don't really know how that would work out. But even if it was just Joey, it would still be cool to see the two dueling together again.
Yeah. And Yugioh forever, Joe.
And together they would take down Anubis and save Kaiba.
Yeah, and then the Pyramid of Light thing he had around his neck would have shattered, freeing Kaiba from
the mind control.
Yeah. Instead, they just had Anubis have it and just throw Kaiba aside after the duel. I mean, yeah, he could have hypnotized. That's exactly what Yami Bakura did when he was separated from Bakura. He hypnotized Taya to bring the Millennium Ring back to Bakura's body.
The thing is, I'm not sure how a spirit does that when it's inside of a ring, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, Tem couldn't do that when a hypnotized bandit Keith took the Millennium Puzzle.
I think the Millennium Puzzle kind of got the shaft in that exchange.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, he could have done what the Millennium Ring did and just hypnotized some fool and give him the Pyramid of Light to Kaiba. That way he would have taken the card for Pegasus while also slipping the Pyramid of Light card in Kaiba's deck while he had him under his control. Then having that epic showdown with Yugi. So when they both transform into their
Egyptian counterparts.
Yeah, Egyptian counterparts. Well, considering that isn't.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but still taking control of Kaiba's body, transformed into him, and the only way to get him back was to win a duel. Basically, anyone with supernatural powers has to abide by the rules of a children's card game.
that's crazy if you think about it, right?
Seriously, hell, Pegasus did it.
Well,
I mean, yeah, he had to. I mean, it was his reputation as the creator of
yeah, he was also the creator of the card game.
So yeah, he kind of had to. But Noah, what? He doesn't even live in the real world, so technically he doesn't have to abide by the rules of Duel Monsters.
Theoretically, he could have taken all their bodies right then and there for himself.
I know, he could have.
But instead, he chose to
let them all duel for their freedom.
He chose to let them all duel for their freedom, which is, well, noble. It's really noble if you think about it. But yeah, guys, that is our overall opinion on Pyramid of Light. Like I said, you said 3 out of 5 stars. I would pretty much give it a 3.5, mostly because mostly for the same points that you included. Like the plot was a little dull. The animation was really up there though. At least by 2004 standards.
Yeah.
The animation was really up there. The voice acting was incredible. And where it suffers mostly though would probably have to be once again in the character department, I think we mentioned that in GX. Like with GX, where it suffers though would be in the character department. Where there's the movie really has no impact on the series in the slightest. It's just an Elseworld story.
Yeah.
But overall, it's still pretty solid. We still think it holds up incredibly well, and we think it's at least. We think that it's at least worth checking out at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Once or twice. Also, guys, we will eventually be bringing you guys a vlog-style review of 3D Bonds Beyond Time, and also Dark Side of the Dimensions when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, although that's unless 4Kids sues us. But anyway, leave your comments down below, please. Let us know what you thought about the Pyramid of Light, what you didn't like, what you liked about it, what you didn't like, stuff like that. Your rating out of 5 stars, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And until we meet again,
Dragon throw out.
and remember, trust in the heart of the cards. See ya.
You're not me.